everybody. I normally wait for the air conditioner to kick off, but just to spite California, I've decided to leave it on for the video. Alright, so today what I want to talk about is sort of a don't let your kids grow up to be cowboys kind of video. This one is don't be quite so hasty to have your kids become engineers video. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and like almost every college degree that's out there, I don't think any adult guidance counselor, I mean, let's face it, I don't know what those people do. Teacher, definitely not. They have zero experience in the field. Nobody was able to prepare me for what I was going to jump into. I pretty much jumped, 2 feet into a deep, deep, deep pool with a big weight around me, and that weight was called debt. Once you're in for about a year, you pretty much have to finish. You've just spent a car's worth of money, and if you're trying to transfer, good luck transferring any of your credits. It doesn't work out that way. The only smooth credit transfer I've ever heard about is from a community college that has a deal with the local four-year college, right? That's the only time it ever works because it's forced to work that way. And I've never done that, so for all I know, it doesn't work at all. If you guys know any better, then please feel free to comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys who've done the community college to four-year college route. That is in my estimation, that's a much better route. You can get a feel for it. The classes are like $200 a piece, $300 a piece, whatever the going rate is. Back when I took differential equations for a summer at Anne Arundel Community College, it was like $200. I was like, good Lord, I could work my way through this. Just like the colleges used to be. You used to be able to work your way through it. Now, if you're gonna if you want your kid or yourself to go become an engineer, you need to ask yourself why, right? The field of engineering it requires such a wide set of talents that if you say, oh, I'm really good at math, I'm like, okay, and are you really good at following extremely detailed instructions? Have you ever built anything? Like a model kit. Model kits are pretty good because you have to sort of figure out how to put the thing together, and then your dexterity and your skill with your hands shows through in the final product. Have you ever built a soapbox racer? I don't think people build soapbox racers. Closest thing I know is the toilet racers at Hampstead that those hipsters like to do every year, where they mount a toilet onto pretty much a cart with 4 wheels and then race it down. I forget which road it is. It's in Hampstead. A lot of people crash. I heard it's a lot of fun. When this COVID stuff is done, I'm going to go and check that out. Have you built we have a kinetic sculpture race in Baltimore. You ever done anything like that? Do you build things for fun? Do you make things for fun? Because if you want to be an engineer, guess what you'll be doing? And in fact, the making things is the best part. So if you don't like making things, I got some bad news for you. We call you a spreadsheet engineer. We're going to shuffle you into the back, and you're going to go through tons of invoices, and you're going to structure our bill of materials, or do our inventory, literally inventory. I've had to do inventory. It's like accounting, but you can lose things. It's like accounting for things that exist in physical space that people are currently using, right? So if you're trying to count stuff, I'm not going to go on a tangent about that right now, all right? I hated doing inventory. But if you're not into building stuff, inventory is as good as it gets. It's going to be bad. It's going to be rough. You're not going to have fun doing it. If you want to become an engineer, all right, you're good with math. That's a good start. That's the first thing I ask. And I don't ask, did you get good grades in math? Because who cares about, I almost cursed, who cares about grades? I care, do you like it? Are you good at it? Right? If you can sit and just do math problems all day, that's 90% of the job of an engineer, depending on your field. Do you like to build things, right? All right, so can you do math? Do you like to build things? Third thing off is, have you ever taken criticism? You ever competed in anything? Competition's really important because engineers are so close to the front lines when it comes to winning business that it's really just the salesmen, engineers, and then everyone else in the company. Everybody else in the company. Even the VPs and executives who are kind of like a salesperson in some respect, but they're really just there to have drinks and rub elbows. if you were on the front line, and the thing is, you're on the front lines, and everyone's expecting you to answer the questions. So if the salesperson says, "Oh yeah, it can go like 60 miles per hour in 2.3 seconds flat," right? And you only have done for like 3 seconds flat, and you're like, we've never done that before. Well, you said if it's got to be 2.5 or less, or there's no sale. We're all going to go out of business if it's not 2.5 or less. So what are we, engineer? What are you going to do about it? And everyone's looking at you like you have the answers. The thing is, if you say I don't have the answers, then you're screwed, because they'll just find someone who does. Even if they don't have the answer, whoever says they have the answers is the person they look to. Your promotion as an engineer, your meteoric rise, is a large part of making crazy promises and then delivering on them, right? It's a little bit like sales in that way. I mean, all promotions are sales pitches, right? But an engineer has a quantifiable metric that they have to reach to make the sale, right? So you're on that front line and you're under the hot seat all the time. And the thing is, as systems get more complicated, you're going to be under so much more pressure, right? All right, so do you like working under... I can't hold up... I'm not dexterous enough to do that many fingers. I can't. I got to hold the pinky down. All right, so math, build things, compete. All right, do you mind pressure? Pressure is part of competition, but it's not all of it, right? Do you like really, really hard work? Because I've been told this before, and I believe it, and I've lived it. My lived experience is that engineering school is a boot camp, right? I'm going to get really dark on you here for a second and let you know that I've had more than a few friends in college who we had to put on suicide watch, like unofficially. And the thing was, we had to do it unofficially because if we did it officially, it could screw up with his work and he would be even more inclined, right? I don't want that. We don't want that. I've been there too. You work 14-hour days, 7 days a week for month-long stints, right? You have real deadlines that you've promised and you're going to try to deliver. And then you blow those deadlines and everybody hates you. If you make the deadlines, everybody loves you. It is engineering, to me, was the sort of masculine experience made really condensed, where it's, hey, can you talk this talk and then walk this walk, and if you do it, then everyone loves you, and if you can't do it, everyone hates you and thinks you suck. There's no miscongeniality when it comes to building a rocket. You either won or you didn't win. The only way a second place wins is if the first place blows up, right? That's kind of what happened with the Redstone rocket under, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. On camera, I get about 10 IQ points dumber. I hope it doesn't show through. Von Braun, right? He was building the Redstone. It was an army rocket. Eisenhower didn't want to put a military rocket first and foremost for going into space. I guess he wanted to make it more of a civilian scientific endeavor. Something. It's good intentions. But that put von Braun in second place, and the only way von Braun actually got into first place was when the Russians beat them, right? It beat the first place. The one that was emphasized was the scientific rocket, and it noodled around to get out, and we lost the first part of the space race. We had to go make up an entirely new leg of a space race to win because we'd already lost it, right? Well, we just moved the goalposts. Which is a viable strategy for winning, right? You miss out on the normal crazy promise, so you just make a crazier promise next time. You're going to see this time and time again among a lot of entrepreneurial engineers like Elon Musk, right? He just keeps doubling down. I thought he was a joke for, when I was in college and a few years after college, but we judge engineers based on their results. I can't argue with his rocket landing and sending, astronauts to the ISS. I'm a little bit late on getting in the ground floor, but that's what I am. I'm a little bit more cautious, a little more conservative, but now you can't deny it. So your entire self-worth in college is based on your results. That is hard. If you do not have a strong sense of self, you could be in a lot of trouble. A lot of students were in a lot of trouble, right? I went from being a no-namer, just absolute nobody in a school that had about 9 men to every 1 woman, right? That's rough. You get like a Langmuir radius of men around each woman. It's a cloud of electrons that goes around a proton, that goes around like a positive charged particle in space. It just attracts all these opposite charges and just gets a cloud of them. So like the dating prospects are terrible at the worst time in your adolescence, where it's like, oh, finally I'm free, I can be me, and there's no women. Okay, all right. You could do what Scott Adams did, which he chose his college based on the male to female ratio, which was in part he didn't do it just because of that. Although he did say that was the main reason, not main reason, but that was the main smart thing he did, which I encourage you to do that as well. Like, you need to have a mixture. You need to have some diversity, right? Of thought and of gender and of backgrounds to have a good rounded adolescent experience, so you get to be built into a person who could deal with lots of different people. If you just live in some weird bubble, you're not going to make it. I spend most of my time off campus, or at least I spent as little time on campus as I had to, right? So I went from nobody in a campus with tons of men and almost no women, right? And all the women had massive egos. You wouldn't want to tangle with most of them anyway. To I had a girl who used to be a model. She ran up to me and like gave me a snickerdoodle or something like that in the middle, and that's not a euphemism. It was in the middle of the parking lot at night. It must have been like 11 o'clock at night when I'd finished working. I'd get in at 8 and I'd leave at 11, get 1 hour to take a shower and go to sleep and then come back. She ran over across the parking lot and just gave me a cookie, and she was saying, "Oh, I heard you won this part of the competition. I heard you did some great work." And she knew my name. I didn't know hers. It was the weirdest shit. I cursed. It was the weirdest stuff in the world for a young man to like be put up against. So then you start building your entire self-worth around your ability to get results. And then guess what? You're going to fail at some point, and you should fail. College is about failing. It's about trying, and it's about failing. It's about doing different things. And as soon as you start to fail, your self-worth starts to just tank, because all that goodwill, everything you used to have is gone. It's like you're on a drug, and then the drug was just ripped out of your veins, right? It is harsh in engineering school. The workload is insane. You will work depending on what school and program you're in, you can work your butt off for a 40% on a test. And then you just pray that everyone else did as badly as you, so that there will be a curve. If the professor wants there to be a curve, right? And then, if there's someone does break the curve and scores really, really high, you got to hide your resentment, because now you're faced with the fact that you just didn't do well enough, right? It's tough. Engineers do not get to hide behind praise from the media. We don't get to be New York Times best-selling engineer. We don't get to have like subjectivity make up for our shortcomings, right? Our helicopter flies or it doesn't fly. Our rocket lands or it doesn't land, right? Never thought I'd say that phrase, but rockets land now. It's pretty great, actually. 2020 is not too bad, technologically speaking. Your product's either going to work or it's not going to work. So there isn't a cushion. There's no cushion. The best you can do is try to orient your product towards a different market or something like that, right? It can drive you nuts, which is why a lot of engineers who are more mature in the field have a lot of hobbies. We have a lot of side gigs. You'll notice like Dave over at EEV blog, I think he did like relationship advice, and he does like physical fitness, and he looks like it. He looks like a surfer dude. He kind of talks like a surfer dude. I mean, he's Australian, so they're all kind of surfer dudes. It's just like California all the way around. Bushfires included. Sorry, guys. Hey, at least Australia's got air conditioning. I mean, they got gigantic, like, plate-sized tarantulas, but you got to diversify your self-worth, right? That's my caution to you. I'll give you this last minute here to let you know, though, that if you do decide to become an engineer and you do like the work, you like to build stuff, you like the math, you like you kind of like the competition, you enjoy it. You can take some rejection, you can take some failure, you can work really, really hard. If you can do those things, it's super duper lucrative, right? Engineers are hard to find, especially now if we start clamping on H-1B visas. They're gonna be worth your weight in gold. if you can diversify your skill stack so that you're not just an engineer, you're also, hey, I look good on camera. Hey, I can talk well on camera. Hey, I can sell things. I can get to know new people. I'm a great icebreaker. I like racquetball. I'm seriously, like, knowing sports is really important. A lot of my other engineers are, like, great at tennis or basketball or something like that. I'm more of a sprinter guy or wrestling guy. I'm not good at them. I just like doing it. But it's time with the customer. I wish I can get into golf. Golf is actually really good. You know, diversify your skill set. You're going to be worth so much money. I would consider a low six figures to be a major downgrade for me. That's insane to me. I was making more money than my dad, adjusted for inflation, by the time I was like 25, than he was when he was like 40, and I was, you know, a little wee baby boy bouncing on his lap. That's insane, right? So you can kind of be awesome. It is a tough program. They are tough programs. You can be all that you can be, as the old Army saying was, you know, back during the Pauly Shore movie, which I think was In the Army Now. It was an alright movie. It's a good career. It's a lot of fun, and all of the hard work is really in college. After that, it's just sort of getting into chaos management and understanding that you need a diverse skill set, you know, stack. That's all. So if you can make it, definitely make it. It's great. You can go from engineer to lawyer. You can go from engineer to doctor. It has happened. It does happen. If I want to take a really boring job, I could just go be a patent evaluator and work for like $100 or plus an hour and just sit and read through potential patents, and I'll try to give them a dollar, you know, value. Like, oh, this patent's really good. This patent's real crap. You know, it's great. It's great. If you can make it, definitely make it. Do a community college thing. See if you can hang it through the academics. If you can do that, I'm actually pretty if you can do that and you can build some projects on your own that are for fun in your spare time, you're gonna knock it out of the park in the 4-year. All right. Okay, guys. This has been the Alex Manassa, and tune in every day around 7:15 for another video like this. All right. You have a good day.